It's 11 o'clock on the dot. A very warm welcome to Tech Friday SA. For those of you that don't know, my name is Samantha Barnard. I am the Deputy Director of Phambano Technology Development Center, NPC. Phambano means make a difference in Chivenda, and myself and the rest of the Phambano Tech team, we aim and we endeavor to make a difference to you, our valued nonprofits, through the use of your software and your tech. Many of you know us for TechSoup South Africa. We as Phambano administer TechSoup Southern Africa. We administer the program to 10 countries in Southern Africa. And part of this intro, which I don't often do on a Tech Friday, but I see we've got a whole bunch of new members in the group, is I just wanted to let you know what NetSquared is. Because you hear Phambano, you hear TechSoup, and now all of a sudden I've told you to join the NetSquared South Africa group. So NetSquared is a global community of TechSoupers. TechSoup is available across the globe, has presence in every country across the globe. And all of us as TechSoupers, we have created this NetSquared community. We aim to deliver sessions like this to you, our nonprofit clients. A very warm thank you to all of our tech donors and our other corporate donors that make these kind of sessions free of charge for you to view. We always try and stick to a tech-related topic. We try and help you with your software adoption. So for example, social media marketing, we're here to train you and to equip you on how to use tech for social impact and social good. It's a passion of all of ours to assist you with the hard work that you're doing, because we, not just at Phambano, but at TechSoup Global, at NetSquared, we truly believe in the work that you as a nonprofit are doing, and we want to help you with your tech so that you can have greater social impact. So today's topic is social media marketing on a budget, one of my favorite topics, and I hope you can tell that I am incredibly excited about today's session. I have not trained on social media marketing for a while. If you have been a long-term client of ours through TechSoup, or if you are a subscriber of my blog or you're on my social media, you should know that I started my social media marketing career late 2006, early 2007. I've got many, many years experience on all the platforms, and through TechSoup, through Phambano, I've had the privilege of working with Google Africa, Facebook Africa, Microsoft Global, every tech donor and tech giant you can think of to create these kind of presentations for you, a nonprofit organization. Now, today's topic is how to achieve impact on your social media with a limited budget, because let's face it, we are also a nonprofit, and everything I'm going to tell you today is what I practice daily with all of our social media accounts. And I 100% understand what it means to fundraise, what it means to have boards that govern you, what it means to try and create content to get something out on your social media, to not only do some online fundraising, but to serve impact. Because at the end of the day, that's what we all do. We serve social impact to communities that need it the most, and we rely on other people's money to do so. So, your first starting point when it comes to using your social media on a budget is to have a strategy. And through my many years of experience with nonprofits, corporates, businesses, SMEs, you name it, I have learned the art of developing a strategy on a budget, depending on what your needs are. And I can say that if you follow what's on the screen, if you reach out during this session with your questions, and if you use a very trusted tool of mine, which is free, which is Google YouTube, you're going to be well on your way to achieving impact on a limited budget. So please get your notebooks ready. I will be in this group a little bit later on today, answering some of the comments on this feed, and also on our other post that we posted a couple of days ago about your social media questions. But I do encourage you to take some notes while I breeze through this very quickly. We only have an hour. I am going to be doing some live questions and answers, and I want to give you as much information as possible. But before I start, just to let you know, my goal today is to plant some seeds of thought with you that will help you look at your social media in a different way. And also, I'm not going to marshmallow fluff it. I'm going to tell it as it is. I'm going to give you the reality and the facts. And hopefully I'll be able to help you achieve impact on a limited budget. So when looking at your social media marketing, you need to have a strategy. And if you think of your fundraising, your M&E, your outreach, your normal day-to-day operations, everything works better with a strategy. And to not overwhelm those of you that are beginners on social media, or even those of you that are pros on social media and it's become mundane and boring and you don't know what to do next, this is the way to set up your strategy for success. Your first area of thought is going to be goals and platforms. And I only want you to spend 10% of your resources, that is thought process resources and time, in your strategy makeup. So it makes up a very, very small portion of your strategy. The next pillar is your content creation. You can see that that's sitting at 45%, and you'll see in my next couple of slides why it's sitting at that amount. And then surprise, surprise, the only way to get success in social media is to actively monitor your analytics, and then you need to engage. And I don't mean just by commenting on somebody's comment that's commented on your post. I'm going to show you a different way to use your social media for engagement. And I quite like this strategy because it's 3 very easy to remember pillars. I've set it up in percentage size so that you know how much time and resources to dedicate to each. And content creation is just as important as engagement and analytics. So let's break it down and let's build a strategy with you quickly. When you're looking at 10% of your thought process for your social media strategy, you're going to have to consider goals and platforms. Now, there are so many social media platforms available to you. There are so many ways that you can use social media. Please don't overwhelm yourself by trying to get your goals as everything that's listed on the screen right now, because it's not going to work. Instead, I want you to take your social media and create little bite-sized goals that you can achieve over a week, over a month, over a quarter, depending on what type of nonprofit organization you have. I'd like you to look at your goals and think very hard about them, because having a goal of maybe increasing your Facebook followers is okay. We can help you develop a strategy for that, but ultimately, what do you want your followers to do? Is it going to help you achieve impact, or is it going to help you achieve fundraising? You need to be clear on your goals. And like I said, only spend a little bit of time on this, because it's not something that you need to set in stone for the next 5 years. Social media goals and platforms change so frequently, and you need to develop that as a part of your strategy going forward. Once you've decided on one of your goals, you then need to look at your platforms. And at the bottom of the slideshow, I've given you my golden ratio, which is choose 3 platforms. Ideally, it would be platforms for your organization that you are most comfortable with using if you are the social media marketer. But if not, you can look at some platforms that are better versed for nonprofits, which I'll talk to you about just now. But 3 platforms is an ideal starting point for you as a nonprofit, whether you are just beginning social media marketing, or if you've got well-established social media channels, but you're feeling very overwhelmed. It's okay if you've got a YouTube channel that hasn't had a video on it in a year, and you decide as part of this goal from today, you're not going to focus on that right now. You would rather focus on your Twitter account, your LinkedIn account, and your Facebook account. Okay? It's okay to do that. And it's okay to set those goals for the next 3 months. Achieve whatever it is that your goal is that you want to on those platforms, and then move on to the next goal in your strategy. Once you've got your 3 platforms, you must understand that in order for your social media to deliver impact and success, you have to have a blog on your website, and you have to have a mass mail. So how it works is, your mass mail and your blog is what you're going to use to convert social media followers into beneficiaries, stakeholders, partners, donors. Most of those kind of activities, those conversion transactions online, will not take place on your social media. Social media is purely just the microphone, the announcement channel for you to carry the messages that are already on your blog, on your mass email, to help you convert. And you need to have it in that structure if you are wanting to have a goal, like, for example, increase your online fundraising. So please make notes of that. And remember to start off with at least 3 platforms because that's putting the net out there quite wide. It's very easy to manage on 3 platforms with some tools that I'm going to share in the upcoming slides. But you must have a blog that is relevant and that you update frequently. And you must have a mass email setup. We then go on to content creation. So you've got your goal, you've got a blog, you've got a mass email, but Sam, what do I write in my blog? What do I post on my social media? Which words do I put into my email? How often do I email? These are all very, very valid questions for nonprofits. And usually I find that a nonprofit fears social media so much that they don't post, or they post the incorrect content because they're feeling overwhelmed. And on the screen, I've given just a couple of prompts to help you with your content creation. I'd like you to please follow the 80-20 rule. So 80% of your content that you're sharing on social media must be authentic, human, relatable content. 20% of your content should be a call for funding, a wish list request, a call for assistance. You must have that ratio so that you don't be perceived to be the nonprofit that always asks for money on their social media. One way that you can build up your 80% of your relatable, your human-driven, your authentic content is to use things like themes. Now, we are very fortunate as nonprofits, believe it or not, when it comes to content creation, because we have something called the Health Calendar Days. So some days it would be, well, not some days, one day a year it'll be World Rhino Day. And just by having a global, they call it the Health Calendar Day, we can create huge amounts of content on an idea that is relatable to our nonprofit, but that's not our core business. And in doing that, I guarantee you, you will increase all of your impact on social media on a very, very limited budget, because you're going to start posting in a voice that the people that are watching you and that are reading your content most understand. So ways that you can, and wait, let me stop there. Remember on the first slide with strategy, I said you must spend 45% of your time, your resources, your thought processes on this particular pillar of your strategy. Please do choose as many of the prompts on the screen as possible. Monthly themes. Maybe for the month of October, you know that people are going to be posting about Halloween, US-based. You're trying to attract a US-based market, and you might want to create some content surrounding that theme to attract an international market, but you want to make that content relevant to your nonprofit. Okay. Secondly, is you can go through the health calendar. I've got a couple of links I'm going to share in this comment section below, but every month I post out on my blog the upcoming health calendar days for the month for nonprofits, and use those themes, use those hashtags to create other people's content, which is OPC, on your social media. Other people's content could also be donors that have tagged you online. It could be beneficiary testimonials. It could even be other nonprofits, content that you share of them, so that you are always consistently posting in a relevant voice. Now, I want you to cross-check me, okay? Because I don't want you to just believe every single thing that is on the slideshow here because I just told you that I'm going to teach you on social media. I'd like you to, when you have some time, go onto our Phambano Technology Facebook page. And I'd like you to have a look at the OPC that I share that gets incredible engagement in the form of emails that we get telephone calls from it, we get inbox messages. And the strategy that I've developed there is that you as nonprofits are our main clientele. And instead of always just sharing resources with you that are about donated or discounted software, I actually share other people's blogs that talk about fundraising tips, how to manage a board effectively, all the relevant types of topics that you as a nonprofit would be interested in. You will see that on our Facebook page as part of OPC, because we're building a relationship with you. And that's often what nonprofits forget about. They're so focused and zoned in on talking about beneficiaries, stakeholders, donors. Please give, we need help, thank you. That they don't broaden that scope a little bit and make their OPC a big portion of their content creation. And people blog for free. People want you to share their blog. So there is a huge amount of information out there for free that you can share on your social media that is going to give you a good presence. It's going to make you relatable. It's going to talk to your audience, and you're going to have content going out on your pages according to your schedule. Then just to quickly breeze through the rest, trending news. If you see that there is something trending locally in our local newspapers, or if you're using a free tool like Google Trends, that can be an amazing way to post content that is relevant to your audience and that makes sense to them, but you've got to tie it into your nonprofit activities. Evergreen content. Evergreen content could be related to your About Us page or your mission and your vision. Take your mission and try and put it into 10 different tweets or 10 different social media posts. And a part of your content creation calendar is that once a month, you post your mission, but with a different graphic, with a different link to your website, with some different wording, but it all means the same. Evergreen content is also content that you can share. It could be your digital reports. It could be a look back on your financial year from 3 years ago. There's so many ways that nonprofits can create evergreen content where you spend some time creating the content, but then you can reshare it over and over and over, and it makes sense to your audience. Partnership content. Donor relationship content, beneficiary education, landscape examples. These are all ways that you can create 80% of your content to be relatable, relevant, and in the language that your audience speaks. Then your 20% of your content needs to be your call for donations, your wish list requests, your asks for assistance, and so on. The last part of the strategy is engagement and analytics. Now, every single social media platform has their own free insight tool. And there you can find your best posting time and your best posting day. My word of encouragement to you is to please, please, please use Google YouTube. It is a free tool. There is a huge library of resources available to you. All you need to do is search in YouTube and you will get a tutorial on how to use your Facebook Insights, for example, to see not only your Facebook best posting day and time, but also your Instagram best posting day and time if you've set up Instagram for business. Please spend some time looking at your analytics and putting it into your strategy, because if your analytics come back and tell you that for your particular nonprofit, the best time of day to post is at 6 a.m., then you shouldn't be scheduling content at 6 p.m. and expecting results. The beauty of social media and the beauty of these tools being free is that we are literally being handed on a silver platter when to post, what to post, and how to post. All you need to do is to invest your time, or you could get somebody else in your organization involved in doing it and teach yourself through online free tutorials on how to read that. I'm not going to lie, it is a bit overwhelming in the beginning, but I promise you, if you are dedicated and if this is a core function of your job to make your social media have everlasting impact, you need to be able to read your analytics, and they're all free tools. Now, once you've read your analytics and you've got your best posting time and your best posting day, I then want you to go to a next level of analytics, and I want you to find your posts with the most likes. It could be something that surprises you, okay? For me, I would imagine that nonprofits like yourselves would want to hear about free software from TechSoup. But my posts that do the best are ones where I train on social media, where I give 3 or 4 sentences of how to use social media the best. That becomes my monthly theme, or it becomes my weekly theme. But my insights tell me what you as my audience wants to see the most, and that makes it very easy to create content that I know is going to have an impact with you. And because I'm reading it through my insights, which is a free tool, I've spent no money to get somebody to read it for me. I've learned how to do it myself, and I can forever look at my insights on a monthly basis to see what's working and what's not. Another way to look at your analytics and to use an engagement tactic is donor online search trends. Use the tool called Google Trends. You don't need to make a note of that now. In the next slide, I'm going to give you a bumper list of free tools to use. But use a tool like Google Trends and have a look at what donors are potentially looking for online. Really dig deep into that free tool. Again, huge range of tutorials online for you to learn how to use it. I would say for this piece of your strategy, you could block out 45 minutes to an hour, and you could do all of your training online through YouTube for all of these, and you would walk out at the end of that as a pro. So an hour investment versus long-term impact on your social media with free tools is worth it, in my opinion. Next up is to create a content creation schedule. You'll see in some of my other slides, and I guarantee you, if you have watched any other social media marketing training, if you've gone for any coaching, if you're reading social media marketing blogs, we all say the same thing. Consistency is what is going to make you successful, without doubt. Even Facebook Africa representatives, Google Africa representatives, Microsoft representatives, you name it, I've spoken to them all, and they all say the same. Consistency is what will give you success online. The way to do that on a limited budget is to spend some time creating a content creation schedule, use some free tools to schedule, and then you will always be consistent and show up for the algorithm. Engagement shows that you care. Now, remember in the beginning, I said I'm going to tell you about a different way of engagement. Instead of just tagging people on your post, or instead of just commenting or liking when somebody replies to you or posts a comment on your post, I want you to also use your social media as an outreach tool. So for example, Di, who's probably in the comment section right now, her and I have got a pretty robust outreach strategy in place. And I want you to keep this in mind, because often what people do is that they'll look at the outside view of social media and they'll go, okay, this fan page has got this many likes, gets this many shares, posts this many times a day. They can't be doing that well, or they don't know what they're doing, or they're very, very quiet. But what you can't see is social media direct messaging. Inbox messages, WhatsApp messages, Twitter DMs, you name it. The behind the scenes that the admin of pages and accounts can then control. Please make your outreach engagement a part, and a very big part, of your strategy. If you are looking for a particular donor, use your social media as your nonprofit to go and do outreach with them. Send them a direct message. Engage with their posts as your nonprofit. Consistently show up. Consistency, there's the word again. Always show up with engagement in different forms, and I hope this has planted a little bit of a seed to you in terms of how you could use your social media, as opposed to just broadcasting content out there, but actually behind the scenes using it for outreach engagement. We have seen phenomenal success with approaching donors via our Twitter account, for example. Pick and Pay, it's a most recent example that I've tweeted. I've got a good relationship with them on Twitter, and I send them a direct message because they follow me back, and I say, hey, you know what, I know of an NGO that is looking for XYZ. Do you know somebody in your CSI department that can send me their email? And because I've got a branded Twitter account, because I'm authentic every day with my tweets, because Pick and Pay can go down on my newsfeed and see, hey, Sam actually works with nonprofits. She's legitimate. That's where your online relationship building with donors starts. And in my opinion, it is the most powerful form of donor online outreach. Don't always wait for them to come to you and to find you. Make sure that you are using your social media for engagement to go and start a relationship with them. Don't spam them. Very important. Don't ever spam people. But consistency, once every 3 days, once every 4 days, if they haven't replied to you, send them a message, like one of their posts, and use your social media to engage in different ways. Last thing about this that I really, really hope resonates with all of you is trying to go viral never works. And I'm going to tell you why. When you get into the frame of mind of posting on social media and you're thinking hashtags, algorithms, captions, images, and you get so caught up in the social media storm, you forget that the best type of content is one where you're not thinking like a social media poster. If you think of yourself in your personal capacity, not as your nonprofit, but just what you find interesting when you are busy scrolling through your news feed, what kind of content do you see that makes you feel happy, that's a feel-good story that goes viral? It is always something that has a human voice, not a nonprofit voice. It is always something that has just gone viral because it hasn't been scheduled. People can see through the way that you schedule your content, the way that you set up your social media, and they know when to engage and when not to engage. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't schedule. You absolutely need to do that because at the end of the day, you are an organization and people fully understand that. They want to see your content. But if you consistently think of your social media as, I need to go viral, I need to get more likes, I need to do this, it's never going to happen. Instead, if you remember your content creation voice, you have 80% human, relatable, feel-good, educational, humorous content, and 20% non-profit driven, call for funding, I guarantee you will see social media impact success. My last point on the slide is to show your human side. It's okay if people see you on social media when you thought they might not have seen you. And by that I mean, it's okay to make mistakes on social media. It's okay to post without really having a full-on strategy because you're trying to get there. Because I guarantee you, if you start now, you will see success. But if you are consistently not wanting to show your human side, if everything has to be pitch perfect, you are going to get similar results where you're not going to see a lot of humans engaging with you. Okay, free tools. And I'm going to breeze through these very quickly. Most of you know them. I am going to post it in the group as well. So you can take a photo of this. You can take a screenshot. For those of you that signed up, I am going to email this out to you. And I'm talking very quickly because I still want to do quite a lot of questions and answers before we end at 12. But you can see on the screen, there's a huge range of free tools. These are the ones that I use every single month. There are others that you might be using or that you've heard of. If you've tested them, if you've found success with free tools, please post them in this group. We really encourage collaboration and partnership in this group. So if you know of a tool that you are getting huge amounts of success on that's free, please do share it with us. But on the screen, you can see that there are many names there that you probably know. A couple that I want to talk you through, and it's one of my most favorite apps at the moment, is called HishHash. It's a free mobile app for Instagram hashtags. And the way that it works is that you set up different hashtag categories. So for example, for us, one of my categories is Southern Africa countries. So hashtag Zimbabwe, hashtag Zambia, and so on. My second category on the app would be Phambano tech related hashtags. Hashtag cloud technology, hashtag digital transformation. And then my next one would be social media hashtags. So for example, hashtag technology teacher, okay? And what HishHash does is it automatically mixes up all those hashtags that you every single day have a new set of hashtags to post on your Instagram or some of your other social media accounts. And I've seen incredible results from it. And it's a completely free tool. So please, if Instagram is on your strategy and it's something that you want to invest your time in, HishHash, I can 100% fully recommend as a free tool is what you must have. Another thing I want to chat to you about is Microsoft Forms or Google Forms. Now, you need to have a mass email, which is what I said in one of the previous slides, but you might not have the budget for MailChimp or for CleverReach, which is available on TechSoup South Africa, okay? And let's say you're approaching over 2,000 subscribers and you don't know where you're going to get the budget for from MailChimp. One thing that you could do is, if you've applied for Google G Suite for free through us, or Office 365, Microsoft, for free through us, you can use either Google Forms or Microsoft Forms to create mail merge. Do yourself a favor, go and Google it. There is a little bit of a drawback from it with it being free, is that you can only send out a certain amount of emails per time that you use it, but it's an absolutely 100% free way to send out email communication if you don't yet have the budget for a MailChimp, or if you're just starting with your email marketing. Use the cloud-driven mail merge tools that's available to you through Microsoft or through Google. What you would do is you would set up a form as your intake form on either Microsoft or Google Forms. You would capture things under GDPR regulations, and you would make sure that people give you permission to have you sign up to a mail merge. You would then use your social media to share that form out, or you would share it amongst your personal networks. And then you would use the free mail merge function through those two programs to actually email everybody the same thing at the same time, very similarly to how you would use MailChimp. And in doing so, you will then work your way up to building funding from your online outreach, from your social media, to one day afford a tool like MailChimp that can accommodate over 2,000 subscribers at a fee. The other social media platform and tool that's for free that many nonprofits overlook is Google My Business and Google Ads. Again, 100% free for you as long as you have a website that is clear about your nonprofit mission and vision. We can help you apply for free Google Ads and free Google My Business listings. And it makes sense to advertise on Google if the entire world uses Google to try to find you. So there are many, many things on the screen here that you can use as free tools. I personally use Buffer, but because I have more than 3 accounts, I have a nonprofit discount with Buffer, which is available to everybody. But if you're just starting, or if you're only wanting to focus on, let's say, your Twitter account, your Facebook page, and your LinkedIn account, please do look at Buffer or Hootsuite. It's completely free as a scheduler for you to use. Later is also a very popular app. I'm loving Later at the moment. It's purely an Instagram scheduler, but you can now also add Pinterest or Facebook. And it gives you fancy things like putting link in my bio, being able to auto-publish. So definitely go and have a look at their free version versus their nonprofit discount version. Okay, paid or discounted tools. Right, Adobe Photoshop. Let's say you don't want to use Canva, and you most certainly don't want to sign up for the Canva Pro account for free, because if you didn't know that, I've given you a little bit of an intro, or just a little bit of some news as to our next week's Tech Friday essay. We're going to have Mike Said as our Canva teacher for all of you in the group. And just before that, I'll be posting out instructions on how you can apply for the Canva Pro account for free as a nonprofit. But I know with graphic design and with tech, we all have our programs that we absolutely love. And I know that many of you are Adobe fans. We have had so many of you request Adobe support, request Adobe products, that if you did want to get it at a discount, you can do that through us for their Photoshop and for their Premiere Elements, which is video editing. Buffer, Hootsuite, Later, MailChimp, WordSwag, Over, Linktree, Wave Video, Boosted Video, you name it. There are tools that if you go to them and you say to them, I am a nonprofit organization, and you can prove it, they will give you a nonprofit discount. Linktree. Linktree is if you're not using Later, and this is a question I get a lot, which is, if I'm using Instagram and I tell people to click on the link in my bio and they click on the link, I want them to see my latest Instagram post, click on it, and it would take them to that relevant content. Well, you achieve that through link in bio, through Later, or a tool called Linktree. Linktree has recently just announced that they're offering their services 100% for free for nonprofits. So again, use Google YouTube, use Google Search to search for terms like free social media software for nonprofits, and you'll find a huge range of tools available for you to use. Okay, key learning points from this presentation that I hope you can take away with you before we go into questions and answers is, don't be shy. Please don't fear the platform. Number one, you can't break it, okay? And number two, the longer you fear going live like I am right now, or posting something because you're worried about what people might say, or if you're doing it properly, I promise you, the longer you wait, the harder it is going to be when other nonprofits in your landscape are using social media to do online fundraising. The quicker you start, the quicker you get comfortable with the platforms, the much better it's going to be for you, I promise you. We are here to help you and to hold your hand through it. I'm here to give you as many resources as possible, but much like riding a bicycle or swimming or driving or flying in an airplane for the first time, if you fear it, you're going to be shy, you're going to be scared of it, but you have to do it yourself and get over that barrier. And once you do, you will see an amazing, amazing world called social media. You're going to see some amazing impact. But again, consistency is key. Now, what I mean by that is you don't have to post on your social media as your nonprofit every single day. You don't have to. It doesn't matter what other social media trainers have told you or what you've read about algorithms or this or this or this. You need to be consistent in your style of posting, and that will work. So if you decide that you can only post on a Monday and a Friday, no problem. The algorithms will love you if you consistently post on a Monday and on a Friday. So remember, consistency is key. When in doubt, YouTube it. It is your free tool. Yes, you need Wi-Fi to watch, and yes, you need to have a device to watch it, but the amount of training that's available on YouTube to help you with these things, just think about it. I started my career in, my social media marketing career, late 2006, early 2007. Only recently have universities started having degrees and qualifications for social media. I was self-taught through the internet. There are ways that you can teach yourself if you're dedicated and if you search for the correct content. Always direct your traffic to your website. Those of you that have joined my courses before, or back in the day when I could see you all face to face, you would know that this is a huge training point of mine. If for some reason Twitter goes down, or Facebook decides to close, or YouTube is not available, what is the one piece of social media that you own as your organization? It's your website. And I hear so many nonprofits saying, I wish I could get on TV, or I wish I could be on a radio station. Well, your website is that. COVID has taught us that we can use our social media and our platforms as our own broadcasting channels. So put way more effort into your website, into your blogging, into your emailing, and use your social media to amplify that. Okay, this is an important key point, and please tell your boards about this. In fact, your boards are welcome to phone me. I will help reiterate this as much as possible, because this is, without doubt, the one area where nonprofits fail on social media. And I encourage any trainer that might be watching this, or any coach that might be watching this, please don't tell nonprofits that social media is going to fix their problems, because it won't. If your nonprofit is desperate for funding and you decide to create a Facebook page today, you're not going to achieve your funding goal. Social media marketing takes years of authentic, consistent posting, because ultimately you are building a relationship with people on the other side of the screen, not with the algorithm. The algorithm, which is computer generated, has been built to assist you immediately. That's where you get the gratification of, you post it, it goes out, people might like it. But to get that person that's like that post to convert into giving you their cash, to supporting your organization, for becoming a stakeholder or a beneficiary, you are going to have to view your social media marketing as a long run. It is not something that you're going to be able to use as a quick fix. It's not an easy funding tool. Like, it's probably one of the most difficult funding tools to use, but I promise you, if you dedicate your time, if you post consistently, if you're relevant, you will see success in so many different ways through social media. But you must keep in the back of your mind that it takes a long time to do that. And the quicker you start, the better it will be for you in the long run. Last slide for key learning points is, it's okay to post every second or third day. It's up to your schedule. Don't let anybody tell you that you need to post 5 times a day in order to get X, Y, Z. For us, for example, at Phambano, we have so much content to share. We have so many things going on that we can, I would say, skip at least a day. We can go for about a day with skipping, but we've also trained our audiences that you will see something from us all the time, because we are representing tech, and our brand is to keep you updated with what is happening with tech. If our brand was not that, there's no ways we'd be posting every single day, because we'd be posting with our relevant, authentic voice that makes sense to us. Another huge thing, especially if you're a fundraiser watching this, especially if you're a fundraiser, especially if you are a board member, your personal social media will impact your nonprofit social media. You are a representative for your company or your organization or your place of faith or wherever it is. Your personal social media, especially with GDPR, with Poppy, with our cybercrimes bill, with things that are happening in the world, with cyberbullying, online safety, all these things, you must merge the two. How you post on your personal platform is a direct reflection of your nonprofit. And the reason why I say this is because it kind of baffles me a bit with nonprofits, where a nonprofit board member or a fundraiser will share content from a nonprofit Facebook page onto their personal network to try and boost engagement, and their nonprofit Facebook post will be something about we love dogs, for example. And then 3 days later, that fundraiser or that board member on their personal Facebook will say, oh my gosh, I hate dogs. You need to be mindful of how you're using your social media and how it will impact your nonprofit accounts. Another quick thing is on Facebook. It doesn't happen so much on other platforms, but on Facebook specifically, if you are sharing consistent posts that are business related. So if you are in your personal Facebook profile and you're sharing your fan page posts that are calling for donations, pictures of beneficiaries, please support us here, please support us here. If the algorithm sees that you are consistently spamming your friends with work-related content, Facebook goes, hang on, these people are your friends in your personal capacity because they want to see things about you in your personal capacity. If they wanted to see all of your Facebook business-related posts, they would like your page. So you know what? The next time you share, we're going to dip it down a little bit. That's how the machine learning and the algorithm works. So what you do on your personal social media will have a direct impact on your nonprofit. Please always remember that. And then my last tip for all of you, it works phenomenally well for me. I don't necessarily have a problem with creating content. It's something that I've done every single day for so many years, but where I do have some stumbling blocks is that I sometimes feel very overwhelmed with the amount of content that I have that I need to try and put onto social media for you to read. And what I have found that works for me, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work for all of you as well, is to listen to some music while creating content. If you have something else helping you be a little bit more creative, even if you're not a graphic designer or a creative person and you enjoy, it doesn't matter what type of music you like, please try it. If you feel a bit stuck with your content creation or you don't quite know what to do, close your Outlook, close your email provider, get all distractions off your computer, put your earphones in or listen to music how you normally would, not the radio, because then you would hear sort of the news and other things that would distract you. But listen to a playlist, listen to some music and see how the content will flow. It's one way that you can add in something that's free of charge that'll help you with your content creation. Okay, so those are my key learning points. Now we're going to do questions and answers. And I just want to open up on my phone. I see Di is in the comments, busy sending me a lot of stuff. Thank you, Di. I appreciate it. And for those of you that are asking questions, if I don't get your question now before we finish at 12, because we've only got 15 minutes, I will reply to your question in this thread during the course of today. It won't be immediately after this because I'm recording and I'm going to put this into a nice format for you as a replay. So just give me a little bit of time today and then I will respond to all your questions. Okay, first question, and these were actually two questions that I got in on my email. Which social networks are best to use and how many should one choose? I think I covered that a little bit with my strategy. start with 3 or focus on 3. If you are not a social media pro, if you're somebody that hasn't been on social media for years, my advice is not to go for all 8 of them. Start with 3, zone in on those 3, make those 3 a success, and then you can start adding some others. Facebook works incredibly well if you are wanting to someday use ads. They are very cost-effective ads. You have a broad reach, super intensive targeting if need be, and everybody's on Facebook. Facebook, however, is not going to get you Gen Z or Gen Z, as the Americans say. So if you're wanting a much younger generation, if you're wanting to reach a target beneficiary group that is probably going through school right now or just starting university, you would then need to go on to some other platforms. One thing to consider with a platform like Instagram, very data heavy. So if the beneficiaries that you're trying to reach out to don't have money, they may not be on Instagram that much. Where they might be is Twitter. Twitter is always a good platform to use, not just to reach certain beneficiary types, but international donor outreach. Most importantly, Twitter is press. Without doubt. If you are featured in the press, if you see something that a journalist has written about a topic that your nonprofit can respond to, I guarantee you, emailing them, you may not hear from them. Tweeting them, you will get a response very quickly, and it helps with your press relations and relations. I don't know why I got stuck with that word there. All right. Which social networks are the best to use and how many should one choose? As posts are suggested to be different to various social media platforms, what is the best program to use to schedule these personalized posts to the matching social media platform? So I've seen huge success with Buffer. Absolutely love Buffer, not just because their interface is easy to use, but Buffer send regular social media training emails out to their clients, and they've got phenomenal support. So the scheduler that I would highly recommend, number 1, is Buffer. The next one in line would be Hootsuite. Thereafter, you could also use something like Later. Next question, how long, word-wise, should a social media post ideally be? Should it always be a snippet with a link to a blog or a summarized version with a link to a blog? Or should you post the complete blog post without sharing the link to the blog? So, Twitter, you have a character limit cap, so you wouldn't be able to share your whole blog onto Twitter. Twitter with hashtags, please use up to 2 to 3 hashtags in your post, and always put a link in on Twitter to your blog post. Provide a little bit of a snippet and then a link in, and always have an image. If you are tweeting without an image, it's typically seen as an opinion tweet or a this is what I'm doing tweet. But if you are tweeting about a business, and I say it like that because we're nonprofits, we're not in business, but when social media looks at the posts we deliver about our blog, it's viewed as business category content. Always have an image, have a link to your blog. Instagram does very well as a micro blogging site, so you can actually put the whole blog post in, and you could actually do that with Facebook as well, but you just want to put a little bit of a snippet, in my opinion, so that you can put people onto your website, because you want to convert website traffic into email subscribers, onto your Donate Now form. You want the traffic on your domain that you control, that you own, so that you can direct them to where you want them to go to do things on your website, like pay you some money. Okay. I see some organizations have videos on their Facebook cover. From our side, that is not happening. Can you advise? Yes, you can use Canva, but you must apply for the free Pro Canva account through their nonprofit offering. You will then be able to animate and turn a Facebook cover design on Canva into a video, and then you upload it as an MP4. Often what happens is if you are creating images on Canva or on Adobe that are animated or video styled, you're saving them as JPEGs or PNGs and not as MP4s. And then when you come to upload them on your Facebook, it doesn't work. So that could be one of the issues that you're experiencing. But have a look at the Pro Canva account. You most definitely can put a video or a slideshow or animated text on your Facebook cover, and it works incredibly well. How do I create a link on an image and upload it onto my social media? You can't. It's something that has been taken away from social media. Your graphic that you have uploaded onto social media is static. You then post your link in your status update where you would type out your text. This question I didn't quite understand. It is, why can't you do Facebook Live events for fully booked courses? I don't quite understand that question. I think it's Altina. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I'm going to reply to you on the thread and just clarify that question, and I'll answer it with you after this session. Okay, how do you create a donation button on your cover banners with live links? You can't. What you need to do is go onto Canva, have a look at some of their preset themes for your Facebook cover photo, and they've got it step-by-step tutorials in the Pro account on how you can add in some floating buttons, some icons, so that you can direct people on your Facebook cover to click on the button right beneath it that says donate now, contact us, or whatever the case may be. But you must be very creative with your graphic design in order to get that right, but Canva can help you. Okay, do you have any tips to maximize Google Grants to the fullest? Western Cape Blood Service, thank you so much for asking this question. To those of you that are on the Google Ads grant, I 100% appreciate your patience. We've walked a long journey together. Some good news. Arnold and I had a call with the Google Africa team last night, actually. There are some exciting resources on the way to you. We just need a little bit of time with the team to develop them, to put them into a user-friendly format. But we have been hounding Google to ask them to please invest some time, some resources into the nonprofit community. What I can do for you is I can share with you their business-related content. What they've done, especially now in response to COVID, is that they've created business tutorials. And by that, I mean, you just need to go through their online training and replace the word business with nonprofits. Businesses use the Google grant, well, not the Google grant. Businesses use Google Ads the same way that you use the Google grant. So there's a wealth of knowledge already on the Google library that is about how to achieve success with your Google grant. But we do have some very special things coming up in the very in the very near future. I'm saying before the end of this month with the Google team. So keep an eye on this group. I will post some links in the comments down below to some of the different Google resources, and I encourage you to sign up for some of their live or pre-recorded training to help you maximize your Google grant. Okay, I just want to see what the other questions are. Right. What is the best way to use hashtags? Do I add them on every single post, or do I add them onto different posts? Should hashtags always be new ones, or should they be stock standard? Okay. Best way to use hashtags. Get your notebooks ready. Get your pens ready. I'm going to give you a little bit of some strategy advice here. Instagram, you are limited to 30 hashtags per post. Be clever with it. What you want to do is you want to have a geographical styled hashtag, hashtag South Africa, if you're talking to South Africans. Next up, you want to have a topical hashtag, hashtag Tech Friday, SA. You know it's Friday, I'm talking about tech, and I'm going to give you free training. Next up, you want to have a hashtag that explains your photo. So if you are posting about food donations, you want to say hashtag food donations. But in the photo, you must have an image of somebody receiving food, or a food bank styled image, but your image must say something about that hashtag. Okay. Then you are going to use the HishHash mobile app that I shared with you earlier. You're going to find relatable hashtags to the ones that you've chosen. So for example, hashtag South Africa relates to that is, and try it out, hashtag our emoji of our South African flag. Even if you hashtag emojis, they will come up in a search, and a lot of people use them. So be creative with your hashtags. Rule of thumb, 30 hashtags maximum on Instagram posts. Okay. Facebook have just recently announced hashtags in posts. I would say limit yourself to 2 hashtags in a post on Facebook. Twitter, you can go up to 3 hashtags. Ideally, you want to stick to 2. Try and make it geographical and topical. Okay, nothing about your picture on Twitter, but geographical. Who are you talking to? Where they're based? And also what is the topic that you're talking about. Now, important about Instagram is called shadow banning. If you use the same hashtag every single post, the Instagram algorithm will shadow ban you, which means that if users click on the hashtag that you've used, they won't see your post because you're being viewed as spam. Another quick hashtag tip is don't use hashtag your nonprofit name if people don't know who you are. People are not going to search your hashtag and find your content if they don't know who you are. Rather, use hashtag terms that are relatable to what you're talking about. Hashtag child safety, hashtag online safety, hashtag Tech Friday South Africa. There's many ways that you can use hashtags, and I encourage you to please use them because they are incredibly powerful. Okay, mass emails, even from a worthy cause, are annoying and borderline spam. How do you make them more interesting for people to engage with them positively? Okay, very good question. Mass emails, even for a worthy cause, are spam. Well, then you're not the right audience to be receiving those emails. That's how email marketing works. If you have somebody that is dedicated to your cause, if you have somebody that wants to learn more about you, agreed, you shouldn't be emailing them once a day or even more than once a week unless there's something really huge to email them about. But you should not be afraid to unsubscribe people on your subscriber list if they don't open your emails. We all go through phases, and I think COVID has also taught us that we would sign up for huge amounts of things and get emails. We'll take our little piece of content that we want, and then we don't open those emails again. If you are running mass email for your organization and you have, let's say, 500 subscribers, but only 4 of them open up your emails for, let's say, 4 email sends in a row, delete the rest. Why would you want to be spending time on people that are not even opening up your content? And if they do annoy you, unsubscribe. That's just the way that it goes. Email subscribing should not be seen as a hurtful thing if somebody unsubscribes from your content. It should be seen as, okay, they got what they needed, they've now moved on. Now, one way to make them more interested and to help people engage positively, couple of quick tips. Number 1, you must have a good headline or subject line. You're going to attract people through your subject line. Use some emojis, but don't be too spammy with that. Number 2, if you're wanting people to click on a link in your email, position your link very close to the top. Typically, people only read the first sort of couple of lines of an email. So even if you send them something that's like a blog post in length, they're only going to see the first paragraph. So make that your focus point. If people go past that first paragraph down below, you've captured their attention and you've said what you wanted to say already. But put a link that says read more or connect with us or contact us directly underneath that first little piece of a snippet in your email. And then lastly, don't be spammy. Train your audiences through telephone, through normal email, through your website, through your email subscriber form, through your social media, that every Friday we're going to send you an email news digest. Simple as that. If they get frustrated or if they don't engage, that's okay. If they are non-engaged subscribers for a very long time, delete them off. If it's truly something that they want to hear about your cause, I promise you they will come back and they'll want to subscribe again. But you don't want to be spending your budget on having people on your email subscriber list that don't ever engage with your content. Okay, one more question and then our time will be up. Who are legit people to follow on YouTube to get the correct information regarding social media? That's such a good question. So for myself, for me, I watch Marie Smith. She is well connected with Facebook. She's somebody that has been in the industry for a very, very long time, and you can tell with her content that she is 100% authentic. If you are on Instagram and you're wanting to increase your Instagram presence and get some training, Subi Zimmerman is also another very good contact to have. But I must just warn you, with American marketers, they are way more aggressive than what we are. And by aggressive, I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean that they will serve you content consistently to help train you. It's a way that American marketers and trainers train. Whereas with us as South Africans, we may have a little bit more of a softer approach. From a South African context, I'm going to be honest with you. I am a social media trainer. You're welcome to follow me. I have yet to meet anybody in my industry that I would call a peer that is creating content where I get value from. So I follow the social media giants directly. So if you want to learn about Facebook, go onto the Facebook Learning YouTube channel. If you want to learn about Google, go onto the Google YouTube channel. The actual employees of those companies create content for you to follow and to learn about their social media platforms. And then they'll sometimes include people like Subi, myself, or Murray Smith to assist them in putting content into a friendly format for a geographical location. So I'm going to just close up here. I am still showing my screen. Please let me know if you can see this because I want to share two quick things with you. I've just found this and I've been testing it in the background. It's called rev.com. It's Zoom live captions. I am going to post a link in this group only once I've fully tested it. You shouldn't have been able to see captions live during this stream. But I've been testing it as a transcribing in the background. I want to make sure that they've heard my South Africanisms correctly. And if this works, I think for, well, $20 per host per month. So for me using it on my Zoom, that would be just under 400 Rand a month. I think to use a tool like this for under 400 Rand a month to make your webinars more inclusive. Natalie, if you're watching this, I've heard you. I know we need to make more inclusive content, and I'm testing software. If this works, this is going to be a game changer for us, because not only will we be able to have captions live on the screen while I'm talking to make content more inclusive, but we'll be able to put into different languages as well. So I'm busy testing that. And then last quick resource for those of you that are wanting to create evergreen content. You want to take a blog post, put it into a video, but you need your content to be way more inclusive. I encourage you to look at video. I always love saying this name, but they've got a free package whereby you can upload a pre-recorded video on their cloud-based software. They will transcribe it, put the subtitles on for you. Yes, you're going to have the logo, video as a watermark, but if you had some budget, you could actually get that watermark off. But I think for our nonprofits, where we need to have more diverse content, more inclusive content, here are two pieces of software that I'm testing. I really love video. It's worked well for some of my other pieces of content, and I'm really hoping that this rev.com is going to work. If it does work, I will let you all know, but if you are wanting to do training for your beneficiaries or stakeholders or board meetings or whatever the case remotely, and you need Zoom, just a friendly reminder to reach out to us at TechSoup, because we've got it discounted rates for you. And that's the end of my session. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining on Monday. For those of you that have registered or that did register for this event on our website, we needed your information so that I could send you a social media toolkit, the copy of the presentation from today, and a replay of this. If you didn't have the time to register, please comment down below. Let me know if you'd like those toolkits as well, because I will also upload it into this Facebook group, and I'll tag you on Monday to let you know when I've done that. Have an awesome weekend. Remember to join us every Tech Friday in this group or on our other social media platforms. And please don't stop sending me your social media questions. I'm here to help you. I'm in the group often, and I look forward to chatting to you in the group. Bye now.